ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
The three gunas, works or the qualities define the character of a person. That's why we have to study that when we are studying about the personality. What is it that is defining the character? That's called a personality. What is it that defines the character of a person? Is the mental temperament. And what are the three mental temperaments they say is this three: sattva, rajas, and tamas. Now, certain few basic ideas you need to know, or those who know already, remind yourself of these basic ideas. The purpose is to promote sattva and try to reduce as much as possible rajas and tamas. This is called spiritual evolution. You say, I'm working on spiritual, when I'm working on my evolution. All this, what we are doing is we are working on developing more of sattva. I am promoting sattva and I am reducing tamas and rajas. So this is the effort. Now, if you have to put in this effort, you need to know what is this sattva, what is rajas, and what is tamas. Sattva, I said already, it is the state of mind where the mind is calm, peaceful, objective, mature. That is sattvic mind, sattvic state of your mind. Rajasic state of the mind is where the mind is passionate, desirous. As a consequence, it is agitated. This is rajasic state. Tamasic state is a state of indifference and heedlessness. This is tamas. Now, like I said yesterday, in life, or constantly what we are doing is interacting with the world. You're transacting with the world. When you're transacting with the world, this mind, this three gunas work in three different ways. You react to the situation, you react to the world. No reaction is called a tamas. And when we say no reaction, what we mean is, of course, extreme you can take. For all these gunas, you can take the extreme and then boil it down. You take to the extreme and then boil it down always. That's easier way of understanding these gunas. What does it say? It means only one thing: dull and inactive state of mind. Non-reactive means the mind is in a dull state. It's in a state of inaction. Inaction in the sense aversion towards action is one way. Another way of understanding is it is also uniform motion is also considered as inaction. That's called law of inertia. We say, in science we study what is this inertia. That inertia is what is referred as tamas. Okay. What is non-reacting? Non-reacting means what I want in life, what I do, and what I get. Is it an alignment? I want something in life. For that, I do things and I should be getting something out of it. Now, what I am getting and what I am wanting, is it an alignment? No. You are not recognizing what you are doing, how you have to get what you want. Without any linking between all these things, you continue to do the activity, is called tamas. That is what we call as non-reactive, dull, inaction. Inaction, don't take it as immediately, oh, the fellow is lazy. Of course, that is extreme. Now, if you take to the extreme, most of us will fall into the category of what? Sir, my tamas is how much will be there? Maybe 2% or 3% you will get. Because you feel like not doing when you wake up in the morning, till you have a cup of coffee, how you feel? Dull you feel. No, that is what you think as tamas. After that, we'll say what? Okay, throughout the day, I am not tamasic at all, or what? No. That is not the way to understand. That is why this study becomes very important. It is to be understood from many angles. That is what he is doing here. What we are studying here is the 7 different aspects of action, because action is the insignia of life. So long as you are acting, you are alive. You stop activity, you are dead. So if you want to understand, you have to understand everything connected to action only. Now, when you go for action, they say, for you to perform any action, what is necessary? They say there are 3 basic necessities you must have first. You should have the knowledge. Then there has to be a person who is acting, and actual action. For example, I should have the knowledge of pot making, and then I should be there to make the pot. The potter should be there, and then the potter should be actually making the pot using the knowledge of pot making. Only then you get the pot. So any action that we have to do, we say what? There are 3 things. Straight away we understand. First, there has to be knowledge. Then there has to be action. Then there has to be a person who is actually performing it. This is very basic. Then when you probe little more, we find that I should have the knowledge is sitting where in the actor. Buddhi, intellect. If that intellect is not there, action gets affected. When we go there, I will explain. Now you understand the sequence. That's all you need to get right now. When we go into each aspect, we will explain it more in detail. For you to do an action, first requirement is you should have the knowledge of action. Then you have to actually perform the action. Then there has to be the actor who is doing it, who is possessing the knowledge and who is performing the action. There has to be an individual who is doing all that. Then that individual should have the intellect also to not to get distracted by the situations and other things, not to use that knowledge. He needs intellect. He has the knowledge, but it has to be used. Who is going to use that, sir? It is intellect that is going to be using it. So you need intellect. Then we say the result is going to be coming only when you sustain in that field of action for a period of time. One day you go to gym and exercise, tomorrow morning you don't get a strong muscles. You have to exercise consistently for a period of time. You cannot go to one day music class, piano class you go. From next day onwards, you can't become a pianist. No, you have to go to that class, continue that for a period of time. That consistency of application and performance of action has to be there, without which success of action, completion of action is not possible. So for an action to get completed, there has to be consistency, steadfastness. So we say what? Knowledge, then actual performance of action, then there has to be an actor who is performing that action, and he should be possessing intellect to apply that knowledge. Then he has to consistently make that application for the action to gain enough potency to produce success. So we go backwards. I want to be successful in life, which means what you have to do? You have to be consistent. Then you need intellect. Then action. Then knowledge. Then you have to be there. All that has to come in alignment. All those actions, whatever you are doing, how will you know whether you are doing it properly or not? We say, how do you know the pudding has come out properly or not? All that you have to do is what? Taste it. When you taste the pudding, you will know whether the dish has come out properly or not. That's all it is. You can't say by the look of it, it has come perfectly. No, you have to taste it. You see, similarly, what is the test of whether you have used the knowledge is proper, the action is proper, the actor is proper, the intellect is proper, and the steadfastness is proper. All if this has happened properly means it should produce an effect, right? There has to be a testing, no? Whether you are using it properly or not. That testing is what is happiness that you will experience. And he says that happiness also classified under 3 categories. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So what type of happiness that you are experiencing will give you an indication something is wrong somewhere, or you are moving in the right direction. So as a test of the other 5, you have the 6th element called happiness. This is if you are going to be performing action. Immediately a person says, Ishwaran, this is too much of complication. That is why I prefer renunciation of action. All this is only if you say, I have to do no. That is why I prefer to take up sannyas. I take sannyas and go. Immediately he says that sannyas also is of 3 categories. If you say, I am going to renounce, that renunciation, that sannyas, tyaga, all the whatever word you use, there, that also he classifies under 3 categories to say what type of renunciation that you are practicing. So in life, you have only 2 options. Either you are performing or not. If you say, I'm going to take up sannyas, renounce action, again you have to study the 3. So the renunciation stands as a separate entity. So we have the 5 constituents on one side, the test of the 5, 1, and the non-opposite. Whatever it is, when we go to renunciation, we will see what is right, sattvic renunciation, rajasic, tamasic renunciation, and all that. But as of now, we as far as we are concerned, what is it, sir? I don't want all these things. I will take up in that direction. Then what is it? Renunciation. Now, if you are going to be analyzing all this, you say you have to understand them in that brackets. The 7, we classify that into 4 brackets. First bracket is very basic constituent, very fundamental one. Fundamental one is the three: knowledge, action, actor. Jnanam, karma, karta. Then second set comes. In the second set, you have another two: buddhi, intellect, and dhriti, steadfastness. Second set. First set is this, second set is 2. The third one is a test. The fourth one is different category. So if you can understand the 6, more than sufficient. But however, as you are growing spiritually, you will start experiencing that side also. Renunciation also will happen, detachment will happen. More and more sattvic you become, more and more objective, more and more detached, more and more renunciation will come in you automatic. Therefore, we study that also. Not only for non, remember that. So, whether I am using the first set and the second set properly as a test, the quality control is Sukham. Why this you have to study is, why you have to know this equation in the beginning itself is, if you don't know what all of us will do in our effort of growth is, we will directly strive to increase my sattvic happiness. People always ask, how am I to get more happiness, sir? No, happiness you cannot work on directly. Remember that. Happiness is a consequence, not a cause. If this 5 is appropriate, you will also experience sattvic happiness. If this 5 were to be rajasic in nature, your happiness also will be rajasic nature. If this 5 were to be tamasic, your happiness also will be tamasic. So happiness is more of a test. That's it. But your effort has to be where? Only in corrections has to be done only in the areas of this 5 first. So don't try to work on sattvic happiness, rajasic happiness, tamasic happiness. Okay. Now we come to this idea of what is this knowledge, jnanam, first ingredient. My attempt is to, we have 11 days and we have 7 ideas. Okay. Now each day the attempt is to cover one facet. And invariably there will be an overlap. That's why I thought we will keep it for 11 days. Otherwise, I thought we can do it on 8 days and problem solved. But then it may not work like that. So there are certain dimensions which may need little more explanation, or I may go off. Sometimes by the time I trace my steps back and come to the topic, we lose, we'll be wasting a lot of time. That much of discipline in thinking is not there. So we can't expect that. So don't expect that from me. Yeah, therefore, I thought it is better we will take 2 more days extra we will keep, so that I have the freedom to wander wherever I want to wander and come back. Right. So first dimension we take here is jnanam. Now I am assuming all you people you are all familiar with, sattva expresses early hours of the morning, rajas throughout the day, tamas in the night. All this, I'm assuming you are all familiar with those ideas. Those who are not familiar with those ideas, go back to the book Vedanta Treatise and study that portion and then come back. Okay. So don't, expect me to be covering how comes sattvic time is defined as early hours of the morning, rajasic time is defined like this, tamasic, all those things you work it out. Now you do all those things there. Now this is not the time for all that. Now here we are straight away going into the ideas of explaining what is jnanam. Now when we say jnanam, of course in the example when I was explaining, knowledge of pot making, potter, and action of pot making. Okay. When we come to this word jnanam, what we have to understand is we are not discussing here about your technical expertise. That is not the context here. In Sattvic Jnanam, Rajasic Jnanam, Tamasic Jnanam, we don't discuss your technical knowledge. You may wonder, Ishwar, you just now you said that and now you are saying this. That's how we define it. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic Jnanam here means, when we say Jnanam, it means perception, cognition, not information. The word Jnanam is treated in two ways. One is what you cognize. Another one is what is the information that you are carrying. Right. Now that is not what is referred here. What I see, not physical eyes, right? Through my mental eye, what I am seeing. That is called Jnanam here. Say for example, it's a very popular one. It's easy to understand. There are two types. One is you see the rope and you understand rope as rope. Jnanam. They qualify that as calling right knowledge. Wrong knowledge is what? You see the rope and you see the rope as snake. So what are you seeing? In the first case, you see the rope. In the second case, if I ask you what are you seeing, he says what? I am seeing the snake. This is called Yathartha Jnana. Means you understand the thing as it is. You understand that as it is. That is called Yathartha Jnana, which is the right knowledge. You don't worry about the Sanskrit words and all that, okay? Just giving it so that you understand the words. But what is important is to understand the concept. So in this context, when we are discussing, you will not find we are discussing about your expertise. That is what you need to remember. Other aspects we can see later. So what is Sattvic Jnanam, sir? The Sattvic Jnanam is, Sattvic Jnanam, immediately you put it as cognition or perception. That perception is what is referred as Jnanam here. What is it? Is the capacity in me or seeing the unity in diversity. Seeing the oneness. The perception of oneness is called Sattvic knowledge. Rajasic knowledge is very easy to understand now. Exact opposite. Opposite of Sattvic knowledge is Rajasic knowledge. What is Rajasic knowledge now, sir? Rajasic knowledge is seeing the diversity. Seeing that unity is Sattvic knowledge. And seeing the diversity is called Rajasic knowledge. Seeing that unity is what? There are grades of oneness. There is no oneness everywhere. No. It is graded. What is that? I can feel the oneness with reference to my child. Isn't it? I can see me and my child are one and the same. That I can see. That is why I feel the pain when the child gets injured. Correct? Isn't it? Other people, what happens to us? Nothing. Which means I don't see the oneness with reference to the other group. I see the oneness only with reference to this. Then a person grows little more. He starts seeing his extended family as one unit. Then a person grows little further. He sees what? For you to recognize that oneness, you should recognize what? If I have to recognize that oneness, I should recognize what first? I have to recognize what is common in both of us. Isn't it? If I am not able to see what is common in both of us, and I should connect myself to you based on what is common. Correct? That's why we say our Indian community in abroad is very strong, bounded. More than Indians inside India. Why? When you go abroad, there, what are you? You are alien there. You don't belong to that people. In terms of anything, I don't care. In what you feel different, full stop. You are not the same. Correct? But the moment you see an Indian, what happens? And then I say what? Oh, you're an Indian. Oh, I see. Which part of India? The fellow says, I am from Chennai. That's it. Or if he has to say, I am from Bangalore. Bangalore? Which part of Bangalore? Basavangudi. Basavangudi. I was living in Basavangudi for 15 years. Suddenly we become such a close friends. What is it? For you to feel oneness, primary requirement is what? You should be able to recognize the common denominator, common factor. Now comes the next question. The moment I feel that oneness, consequences what? Put it as this. Oneness, what is backing that oneness? What is ahead of oneness? The cause of oneness is recognition of common denominator. The consequence of oneness, harmony. This is Sattvic knowledge. Remember this. These three words, if you remember, you will get what is Sattvic knowledge. Common factor, oneness, harmony. The moment I recognize the common denominator, I will feel oneness. There is no, this is automatic. I don't have to put in any special effort for me to feel oneness. I will start feeling oneness automatic, instantly. That is why the moment someone brings an infant and shows me and say, this is your child, straight away I identify with that. Why? Common denominator. After 17 years, the hospital calls and says, sir, there is a mistake. The baby was exchanged. What happens at that time? Suddenly you start looking at the child. How now? You can't be looking at the child the same way you are looking earlier. It changes. Why, sir? Because of the common denominator is not there. Oneness happens automatic. When you have that oneness, harmony is automatic. So, what is Sattvic knowledge? Sattvic knowledge is your capacity to recognize the oneness. What is that common denominator? There is only one common denominator for all. That is the self, the pure consciousness. My ability to recognize that pure consciousness. perceive that pure consciousness as a common factor connecting you and me. That recognition is called sattvic knowledge. When I have that sattvic knowledge, what will happen? Automatic, sir. Harmony comes automatic, oneness comes automatic. These two are automatic effects of it. See, we will study these ideas. See, sattvic knowledge, we will do it in two levels. One, we do it as basic definition. Next, you have to do as a derivation. Now, if you have to give an answer to what is the sattvic knowledge that you have got, if you are honest, your answer has to be what? All of you see, not 3. This one, 0. Right? No, which is not possible. Theoretically, that is not possible. You can never have a 0 sattva is not possible. Right? Then we will get confused. Oh, then what is that? Does it mean that I don't have anything? No. It's not nothing. Nor is it immediately saying I have got 90%. I genuinely thought when I read first time, I did not attend the class and all those things. I was reading that Vedanta Treatise book. And I was reading the book, I thought, wow, man, I have got. Oh, that's all it is. We have to understand what? God, no. God is everywhere. Don't you know God is everywhere? Does any one of you think God is not everywhere? Right? All of you know, no. Therefore, all of you carry sattvic knowledge. There's no problem at all. I thought first like that. Then after attending the class, I went back and said, 0, man, nothing I have. He said, no, this is also wrong, that is also wrong. Remember this. So strict definition, we go one way. Then we will see that in an orthodox meaning, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, then derivation. So we'll do it in 3 phases, or you take it as 2 phases. Okay, for the sake of convenience, we can split that into 2 ways. This is what I have done. When I studied, this is what I did. I said, okay, first thing we will take it as definition. Definition is what? Strict one. No variations in that. It is very, very orthodox. There, what is it, sir? My understanding that I am the self and the self is the one all pervading everywhere is called sattvic knowledge. Then you'll say, sattvic knowledge means this. Now, what is rajasic knowledge? We get totally lost there. This rajasic knowledge is where you start seeing the diversification. You see the differences. This is different, this is different, this is different, this is different. These are all different. That perception of differences, as a result of which what will happen? There will be division, as a result of which disharmony. Division and disharmony is automatic effect. Exactly like oneness and harmony is an automatic effect of sattvic knowledge. Means rajasic knowledge automatic effect is what? Division and disharmony. This is rajasic knowledge. Sattvic knowledge says, I am the self. The self alone pervades. The one self I see everywhere. That is sattvic knowledge. Rajasic knowledge says, all different. Meaning, there are many souls. See, when a person dies, the soul is gone. Where does it go? It goes to various lokas. And people do this final rites and all those things for it to go into that particular place. and then he goes from there to this place. From there he goes to this place. This. That traveling happens. They are all different. So all those things will be dependent on all the punya, papa, all those things. And then what will happen? The soul will take a birth again. So you have a soul, I have a soul, he has a soul. Each one of us have got different souls. It's all different soul, no? This is Rajasic knowledge. Tamasic knowledge says body alone. Sattvic knowledge, self, pure consciousness, Atman, Brahman, one. Rajasic knowledge says there are many souls, many Atman. That is Rajasic knowledge. Tamasic knowledge is what? Body, what soul and all that you are talking about. What is existing is what? Only body exists. This is the Tamasic understanding. So, what are you according to you now? What is the other person according to you now? Will tell you the understanding of your Sattvic knowledge, Rajasic knowledge, Tamasic knowledge. Do you see the other person as body and relate to them? Or you see the other person to be that inner soul? Or you see the other person to be the self, essentially? What is it that your perception will give you an idea of what is your Sattvic knowledge, Rajasic knowledge and Tamasic knowledge? This is definition of it. Now, definition wise, if you take, it becomes very difficult for us to understand. See, Rajasic knowledge says what? Ornaments are all different, no? You take Sattvic and Rajasic first. Rajasic knowledge says, hey, this is anklet, this is bracelet, this is necklace. This is all different. This is Rajasic knowledge. Sattvic knowledge says, all this is gold. This is gold, this is gold, this is gold, this is gold. It doesn't care about the ornament. It sees only the content, the gold inside. The perception of gold, one gold pervading all ornaments, is called Sattvic knowledge. Rajasic knowledge is what? That is where we need to understand knowledge here. Even to a Sattvic person, he will not say, his eyes will say what? This ornament is different, that ornament is different. Remember, that is why Jnanam we say as cognition. Not that once you develop Sattvic Jnanam, what will happen, sir? People think once I develop Sattvic knowledge, what will happen? All ornaments will become gold back. No. Ornaments will remain as ornaments, and he will understand this is supposed to be a nose ring and this is a earring. A Sattvic person will not say, put the earring on the nose and a nose ring on the ears. Why? Gold only? No. That is madness. Remember, he sees, his eyes will say they are different, but his understanding goes is what? His understand is one gold. The gold is one. So that is the difference. The Sattvic person and the Rajasic person. The Sattvic knowledge, Rajasic knowledge. Now comes the Tamasic knowledge. What is Tamasic knowledge, sir? Strictly speaking, in the Gita, beautifully he defines. When he is explaining that, in the Gita, he drops the word Jnanam for Tamasic Jnanam. When he is defining what is Tamasic Jnanam, he is refusing to call that as Jnanam itself actually. Krishna. So he drops that word jnanam. So sattvic knowledge, rajasic knowledge, this is called a tamasic, he says. He doesn't even use the word knowledge there. What is tamasic knowledge, sir? Classical aspect of tamasic knowledge is you take a part as a whole. That's called tamasic knowledge. Classic one. You take one part of it and assume that one part itself to be the total thing. That is the whole we take. Taking the part as a whole is called tamasic knowledge. What is taking part as a whole? You see that poem, if you remember, it's a very famous poem. You know? The 6 blind men who go to see an elephant. Each one goes and touches one part of the body of elephant and arrive at a conclusion. What is the conclusion? One fellow goes and touches the tail and says, elephant is like a rope. See, what is interesting about it is, see, the tail of the elephant is like a rope, correct? But the elephant itself is not like a rope. You see that? This is called taking the part as a whole. What is taking part as a whole means this. Within brackets, you put this poem. Blind men, 6 blind men, an elephant. Each one goes and touches one part of the body of the elephant and arrive at their own conclusions. And this is step 1. Then there is a second phase to it. Once I take that part as a whole, why I am taking that part as a whole? I see one part of it. I take that one part itself as the total thing. Why? I don't see anything else. I don't see any other aspect. Why I don't see any other aspect? Because this dimension is so fascinating. It is so captivating. I get totally involved in that one facet of it and take that itself as totality. That part is so attractive. That minuscule part, what I'm seeing, is so attractive. So anything which is so attractive, your tendency is what? You will go on looking only in that direction. No, you don't look at the other side. Those who go next time, when you go to cinema theater, I don't know whether we will be allowed in future. You can try it in your house also, in TV. Even in your screen now, if you observe carefully, you focus on one part of that screen only. You don't see the total screen in front of you right now. Why? Total screen is there, no? Can you see the total screen? Do you see the total screen? When I'm saying total screen, all of you would have seen. After 2 minutes, you will be focusing on one part. Even when you are looking at me, even if you say that Ishwaran, we have put you in, what is that, speaker mode, speaker view or something you have, no? I'm assuming that you are having that in speaker view. If you have it in speaker view also, are you seeing the total of me? No. You will see one part. And you will go on looking only that one. Why? Because that one dimension has attracted your attention, drawn your attention. That one facet need not be good one. Remember, not that it has to be a beautiful one. That's not what I meant when I say attractive. Usually people take attractive means that's more beautiful. No, not in that sense I'm saying. Anything which has drawn your attention, it goes in there and you just stay with it. Why? Because it is so nice for you. You refuse to view any other side. Not only you refuse to see the other side, you arrive at a conclusion as though that itself is the whole thing. This is the problem of tamasic jnana, taking part as whole. Now, sattvic jnanam is what then, sir? What is sattvic jnanam? Now you go backwards. If taking part as whole were to be tamasic jnanam, sattvic jnanam is what? Seeing it as it is. What is it you see? That's all. This is a part. This part is like this. That's it. This is a part that is a whole. You understand a part as a part, a whole as a whole. That is called a sattvic jnana. Right. Tamasic knowledge is what? Taking the part equals to whole. Consequence of tamasic jnanam is what, sir? What happens if you have tamasic jnanam? Fanaticism. You will become fanatic. What is fanaticism? Only my God can save the world. Okay. Nowadays, my God is not the right thing to use. Nowadays, we have to say what? Only my Guru can save the world. Only solution for all you people. You have electricity problem, study Vedanta. That is called tamasic jnana. See, you have electricity problem. First question I have to ask is what? Did you pay your electricity bill? If you don't pay electricity bill, even if you have studied Vedanta, you will not get electricity. Electricity board will come and disconnect. You can't say, I am seeing the self everywhere. You will say, produce electricity by yourself then. What is it? Wherever we go, we see this phonetic idea of what? Only this. Only my idea. Like many of us say, no, in this house, you should be like this only. What is it? Isn't it? In this organization, it should be like. Why? This is called a fanatic. Fanatic will start working not only in terms of religion, please. It works in every walk of your life. Wherever you have taken a part and you refuse, and as a result of which, what happens, sir? You see, tamasic knowledge means this. Means you see the effect only and get carried away by the effect. That is called tamasic jnana. You see the effect of Virat Kohli playing the game effortlessly. So long as he is batting, it looks like as though it's very easy to score runs. The moment he gets out, oh, look at this man. This guy has a lucky fellow here. A lot of them say, Now, what you don't understand is, it's an effect. He playing is an effect. What has gone behind that is this effort. We don't see the effort at all. Because effort is not visible to you. What is visible is only the effect. The effect is visible. Isn't it? They're all very lucky, man. They were early in the market. When there's a boom was happening, these people were there in the market, so they got the advantage. They grew. What's the big deal about it? Now, what does it mean? It is you are just taking the effect Somebody has success, talent. You see an excellent demonstration of a talent. A musician is singing beautifully. He's singing. You listen to that. You see the effect of his singing and get carried away by that effect, and you dismiss the effort. How much of effort he would have put in to get that. All of us have seen Buddha went and sat under Bodhi tree, got enlightened. Correct. But before that, what did he do? That and all we don't do. What all of us are willing to do. I will also go and sit under the Bodhi tree on that same Buddha Purnima. Whole night you can sit and meditate also. But you will not attain Buddhahood. That is called Tamasic Jnana. What is it, sir? You see the effect is, see, he also sat. He also did meditation. And Buddha Purnima day, he got realization. Correct. You see that and get carried away as though that's all it is. I don't know about you people. At least I used to think like that. When I saw that movie, Mahakavi Kalidas, first thing I asked my mother was, where is that Kali temple? They showed that Mahakavi Kalidas movie. I saw that movie and I asked her, where is the temple? She said, why? I said, I wish to go there to see if she comes and gives me also like that. Otherwise, you are asking me to memorize this poetry and that I have to study, this I have to study, so much of work I have to do. Nothing. All that I have to do is what? I will simply go to that same Kali temple and give a piece of laddu to her, and I will also get that jnanam from Kali. Easy, no? That is called Tamasic Jnanam. What is Tamasic Jnanam, sir? You refuse to see the effort. You only see the effect happening and get carried away by that. Tamasic Jnana. It's another facet of Tamasic Jnana. Another derivation we get from Tamasic Jnana. What is it, sir? Another dimension of Tamasic Jnana is you start your entire thought process with the conclusion. You are already decided. After the decision being taken, you start the analysis. That lady has already decided to buy that sari. After that, she starts giving you reasons. Why? See, this is a good time to buy sari. Because this year we are having that wedding is coming, this wedding is coming, this wedding is coming. So many 3-4 weddings are coming. Now there is a newspaper advertisement I saw. What is it? 40% discount for 4 saris. 50% discount for 5 saris. 7 saris you buy, 70% discount. So as the number of saris increases, discount also increases. It's a very good one. Instead of you buying it anyway, you have to buy. No, all reasoning will look perfect. Reason looks anyway. You have to buy saris for all those people. Therefore, now there is a good opportunity. Let us buy. You have decided to buy first. After taking the decision, conclusion, thinking starts. The reasoning starts. So the reasoning is employed only to find justifications to reasoning. The conclusion that I have already arrived at. So I've already decided only this. Then I start giving proofs. Then I start searching for proof. With the conclusion, you go in search of proof. Already decide this is what he is, like that. Conclusion is done. Now search for proofs. That's what these guys did. No, they already decided that Christ is sacrilegious. That is the case against him. No, isn't it? Already decided. Then investigation happens. Then in the court they ask him, do you do that? Do you do this? What do you say of this? What do you say of this? All these inquiries were happening. That's why Christ never spoke to those people. People wonder, why he did not defend himself. See, how can you defend with a fellow? No point in arguing with him, because he has already decided. The decision has already taken. Tamasic knowledge. The tamasic knowledge, what do you do, sir? Christ says what? Shut up. Nothing can be done. Tamasic knowledge is what? Conclusion. Therefore, how do you know that, sir? How will you know? Very easy. How do you identify that? Any new information, right? A new data comes. That new information, what do you do? Factor in your thinking process, or throw it away. If you factor in that new information, there's a very good chance. Or are you seeking a new information? Two things we can do. How do you know whether your tamasic knowledge is there in you or not? How do you identify that, sir? You can see in any thought process, do you search for a new information, or when a new information arises, what do you do? When a new knowledge, new piece of information is given to you for you to think, how do you factor in that? Do you include that in that process, or you say, no, they are always like that only here? Even that new thing that is given to you, a fresh information, is also kept in this. Now, I'm just giving the ideas. You people work out on the examples, please. Now, I'm not going to be giving examples for every idea. This investigation you have to do. That's why I'm just giving the ideas and moving. Tamasic knowledge. How do you know it is dominating you? Phonetic. Phonetic means what? This is the meaning of phonetic. I'm only explaining what is. You phonetically hold on to something. That phonetic holding to a part as a whole is called tamasic knowledge. When you say you are phonetically holding on to, what do you mean by that? Oh, he's a very phonetic, we say. What do you mean? Now, don't think a person who has a deep conviction will also appear to be fanatic. You see, that's where the problem comes. The difficulty is when you are trying to understand these gunas, how they operate in you, rely more with reference to the qualities of it. Don't rely on expressions of it. Rely more on the definition part, not on the derivation part. See, the expression part of it. Because the expressions will appear very similar, isn't it? A man who has conviction will also appear as the person who is fanatically holding to his idea. Therefore, are you going to conclude saying fanaticism is equal to a man of conviction? If that is the case, Christ is a fanatic fellow. Socrates, fanatic. Galileo, fanatic. All these people, we have to classify them as fanatics only. And you people are all what? Very liberal. Why? You have no conviction about anything. Therefore, you people are all so great, and Christ and Muhammad and Buddha, Socrates and Copernicus and Galileo and all idiots. Fanatic people, you are all very, very satvika. No. Don't misunderstand. That's what is happening today. Today, we are not able to distinguish the two. We just call anyone and everyone fanatic. No. What is the nature of fanaticism? Fanatically holding on means first principle is criteria. You have to pass to say that there is fanaticism. What is it, sir? Taking a part as a whole. 1. 2 is you see the effect only. You don't see the effort. 2. 3. Right. All these rich people are all, very lucky here. Say, sometimes we say, many times we say, there are few people who are very lucky, man. This guy, always in the right time, the right place. No, so much of calculations and so much of thinking, so much of effort has gone in for him to attain that success. Whether it is material or it is spiritual, there is effort. Now, what we do, we simply brand all those people as what? They're all, lucky. No, there is effort. Remember that. You can't discount that effort. Many a times what we do is we discount that effort and we see only the effect of it. That is why every salesman gets angry with the vice president sales. When the vice president gives a target, he thinks what? What does vice president sales know? Only I know. Why? I am working on the ground, no? The ground realities of the market, who knows? Do I know, or the fellow sitting in the office? The fellow goes and sits in the 5-star hotel and attends, two meetings, comes back and says, you have to achieve this target. What does he know about market? What do you call that, sir? That is called Tamasic Jnana. What? You don't see the effort behind. You see the effect. The effect is what? This. Behind that, there is effort. Discounting that. 1. 2. Second point. The third point we see is, do you seek and then conclude, or you conclude and start the search? Your thinking process, how do you know, sir? Very easy to identify. Most of the time, our thinking goes to its peak when you are debating, isn't it? Even in the house, when you fight, the lady will remember the things which had happened 20 years before. Memory works so fast. You are standing there. You are having that expression. You used that word. All that memory works so well. When I'm talking about now, other times memory doesn't work so fast. Other times memory is, now here works so fantastic, so alert, so sharp. My thinking goes when I am debating, when I am fighting. What are we doing in debate? There are people who have seen, this scholars, they do the debates, very interesting. They debate this side in this year. Next year, they go and sit on the other side and debate that also. They don't have any problem. All that you have to do is what? Tell them, sir, you are debating from this side, you are debating from that side. Either case, they can do it. Why? They've already decided what I am going to do now. I am going to defend. So if I'm going to defend this, I have to do the entire reasoning. So all the facts and figures, what do? That is why in the court we have a judge. You don't go by the lawyer. Because what do the lawyer do? Lawyer also reasons. Judge also reasons. He is also using the same law book. Judge also uses the same law book. What is the difference? The judge doesn't decide in the beginning itself. Whereas the lawyer decides what? I am going to defend. I am prosecution side. So what I have to do? Imagine the prosecution lawyer gets a fantastic defense point. Will he call the defense lawyer and tell him, hey, you just have to use this one man, that's all. The whole case can be defended so easily. You think that the prosecution lawyer will call the defense lawyer and say? Impossible. Why, sir? That if you do as a profession, that's what their profession is. I'm not saying don't go out and start saying, Ishwaran says in the class, all lawyers are having tamasic knowledge. I'm only explaining what is tamasic knowledge. That's all. You decide and then think. This is phonetic thinking. Fourth dimension of it is any new information do you search, or if it arrives, what you do. So if you can recognize these 4 points and keep in your mind, you will have a better understanding of what is tamasic jnanam. Sattvic jnanam, rajasic jnanam, tamasic jnanam. This is why I told you people to have a paper and pencil with you. Right. Otherwise, don't call me and ask me tomorrow again. Okay. So remember this. Sattvic jnanam means this. Rajasic jnanam is this. Tamasic jnanam is this. What is action? We will see tomorrow. Okay. Hari Om.